Welcome to the League of Nerds comic book segment number 79. I'm John Cooney here to talk to you about comics released the 31st of July, 2013. Beginning as usual with my first five, meaning these are the first 5 books I intend to read this week, and I'll give you a little more depth on them. Starting with at number 1, Uncanny X-Men number 9. One mutant learns that once you leave the X-Men, the real world can be a punishing place. Another new mutant learns just what it means to be an X-Men. And Magneto isn't the only mutant working with S.H.I.E.L.D. What mystery mutant is taken up with the espionage agency keeping tabs on the X-Men? This issue features more of Dazzler, agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. Marvel editor-in-chief Axel Alonso recently remarked about the character, quote, "The roller rink is paved with rejected Dazzler pitches. Look, there's a lot of love out there for the X-Men universe's Lady Gaga. Indeed, no one's a bigger champion than Senior Vice President of Sales David Gabriel. Every X-Men character has got a rabid fan base, and our job is to find the right window of opportunity to make them shine. Brian has done just that," close quote. He went on to say, quote, 99% of the characters in the Marvel Universe have the potential to be cool. It's just a matter of finding the right creative angle and window of opportunity to tap into that potential. This is an instance where a writer, Brian, found just the right alchemy to use Dazzler in one of our biggest and best-selling titles. I expect she'll be a big player moving forward, and that David Gabriel will give his full support, close quote. At number 2, we've got Guardians of the Galaxy number 5, spinning out of the dramatic conclusion of Age of Ultron. Dimensions collide and Heaven's most fearsome angel pushes the Guardians back on their heels. This issue features Angela after Marvel debut in the final issue of Age of Ultron. Marvel executive editor Tom Brevoort explained her transition, quote, "So the character has now been thrust into our world without warning or any say in the matter from somewhere else beyond the confines of what we understand to be our universe. Exactly what that means, what she knows, where she's from, what her background is, how connected and connective she is to all the publishing history that exists for the characters in Todd McFarlane's Spawn material, and how that all factors in is something you'll learn as she begins to interact with the rest of the Marvel Universe." In bringing Angela into the Marvel Universe, Joe Quesada, while he did sort of standardize her design and figure out how she was going to be depicted here, really was trying to maintain the look and the flavor of the character from her previous image iteration, minus those aspects of her attire that we don't have a claim to, specifically the Spawn attributes that are still Todd McFarlane's. So moving forward, there's nothing to say that the character and her look won't evolve further as she gets involved in stories, just like any other Marvel character, close quote. At number 3, we've got Wake number 3 of 10. A new species has been discovered at the bottom of the ocean, and as a result, people are dying. Is it the missing link, or a link to something even bigger? Marine biologist Lee Archer and her crew have to find out before things get much, much worse. Series writer Scott Snyder explained the series, quote, "There are different parts of the book. There's really sort of 2 worlds to it. One of those worlds is set at the bottom of the ocean in a way that really is claustrophobic and terrifying because of how magnified all the problems are when you're down there, how hostile the environment is. But there's another part of the book that you'll see, basically from page 1, that imagines a much transformed, terrifying, and wondrous kind of world that explains why it's expansive and big and epic and all those things. It's almost like the first half of the book introduces you to this key that unlocks all these terrifying and strange things that wind up opening the world in such a way that the second half of the book is entirely open and odd and unlimited in terms of the storytelling potential." As vague as that sounds, without spoiling anything, part of it is, you can see from the first 4 pages, it's a story that envisions a world that's transformed by the way the ocean shifts. You get to see this destroyed and new and reborn place with the new cultures and characters that you've never seen before, and it's kind of open-ended and expansive science fiction story in addition to being this claustrophobic and horrific tale that takes up most of the first half. Close quote. At number 4, we've got X-Men number 3. The X-Men find out what Archaea is capable of, and the phrase rampaging horde comes to mind. Can Archaea be defeated? Can the X-Men take down one of their own, if that's what it takes? Meanwhile, what's up with Sublime and Rachel? What's up with Bling and Cypher? What's up with Jubilee and Bling? Series writer Brian Wood recently answered some questions about Jubilee. Quote, "Yeah, I know there's been some talk about how maybe Jubilee isn't a vampire any longer, or that I'm ignoring it because she hasn't displayed any of those traits in an overt way, but she will. And yes, she is still a vampire, and yes, those missions are coming. Shogo's not going to get in the way of her being one of the X-Men, but it might be a couple issues more before you see it in full force. Her powers, well, I would say, and my editors could correct this or add to it, longevity, strength, hearing, smell, stamina, healing, and so on. Fangs, vampire stuff. Maybe the ability to go feral in a controlled way. It's tricky because she really has to live in both worlds, that of an X-Men and that of a vampire. So sometimes things gotta get fudged a bit, which is why I think she was given that ring that helps her walk around in the sun. And that's also why I'm not giving her that broody personality any longer. We need the snappier, happier Jubilee. All of this is what I'm referring to when I said in past interviews that people should consider Jubilee to be a mutant with vampire powers, as opposed to the vampire thing being the most important thing about her. Close quote. And at number 5, we've got Morning Glories number 29, A New Assignment. Series writer Nick Spencer explained the storyline, quote, Number 28 is one of our craziest, trippiest issues. It's in that category with number 10 and 23, where weird things happen to one character in particular, an audience favorite. So it's going to be fun to see the response to this. A big bulk of the issue is really about that, and I think the thing to keep an eye out for is the Clarkson stuff. That's the through line of this arc, and seeing how it plays out to the end of 29 will make for one of the best last pages ever. Everything is building to that moment, so keep your eyes on the ball there. And I should mention that coming up we'll have 1 issue in July, 1 in August, but after that we'll have 2 issues in September and 2 in October. We're coming fast and furious. We're excited about it because this arc is getting back to character spotlight issues. Close quote. Rounding out the top 10 at number 6, we've got What If AvX number 4 of 4. The biggest event of 2012 is now the biggest miniseries of 2013. We all know what happened to the Avengers and the X-Men, but what if the story had gone differently? The one and only Jimmy Palmiotti brings his signature style to a mind-blowing reinterpretation of a key event in the history of the Marvel Universe, featuring Magneto, Hope, and every Avenger and X-Man you can imagine. At number 7, we've got Batman Incorporated number 13, final issue. Batman saves the world and loses everything. Number 8, we've got Batman Annual number 2, a special 0-year tie-in. Bruce Wayne's first year as the Dark Knight has just barely begun, and already dangerous elements are coalescing, leading Bruce towards his final destiny. Number 9, we've got Daredevil number 29. The minor demons of Matt Murdock's past lead to some Daredevil-sized present problems. And at number 10, we've got Indestructible Hulk number 11, Time to Smash, Part 1. Spinning out of the events of Age of Ultron, Hulk sent on his most dangerous mission yet, working for a secret subdivision of S.H.I.E.L.D. History is breaking, and only the Hulk is strong enough to hold it together. For the best of the rest this week from DC, we've got Adventures of Superman number 3. Comics' finest talents have assembled to bring you all new, non-continuity short stories featuring the Man of Steel himself, Superman. In this month's issue, Matt Kindt of Mind Management and Justice League of America joins forces with Extreme X-Men artist Steven Segovia to bring you a day in the life of the world's greatest superhero. Next, we've got Batman Year Zero number 1 Director's Cut Edition, reprinting the first chapter of this new Batman story arc from the stunning pencil art of Greg Capullo, and including the full script by Scott Snyder. We've also got Collider number 1, It Started Small, temporary gravity failures, time reversal loops, entropy reversals. With much fanfare, a new government agency was formed with a mandate to prevent and protect. Its official title, the Federal Bureau of Physics. Humans, if nothing else, adapt to the changing parameters of their existence. What was extraordinary soon became ordinary, part of people's daily lives. They move on and do what people have always done, survive. But even that new status quo is now under threat. Things are getting worse, and it falls to Special Agent Adam Hardy and his FBP team to figure out what's going on before it's too late. We've also got Detective Comics Annual number 2. It's a terrible, dangerous time to be a cop in Gotham City. At a time when police are being targeted for assassination, Gotham's finest also face a threat from within, as a shape-changing identity thief has infiltrated the GCPD and threatens to destroy it from within. Will he unravel the mystery behind this secretive killer before he loses any more of his few allies he has left on the force? Next, we've got Superboy number 22. Has Superboy met his match? Psycho and the Team of Steel continue to track down what they believe are Hive Psi operatives, with the help of Lois Lane, who Superboy feels a bond to that Psycho isn't revealing, and Khan's double may complicate things even more. Next, we've got Superman Annual number 2, What Repercussions Lurk Beneath the Surface from Brainiac's First Attack, and how does it all set the stage for the Battle of Metropolis? Plus, how can the Man of Steel fight something he can't physically stop? Next, we've got Tom Strong and the Planet of Peril number 1 of 6, At last, the return of Tom Strong. Too bad he's powerless. The lives of his daughter Tesla and her unborn child both hang in the balance, and there's nothing Tom can do to save them, until he remembers the one thing that just might. To find it, he and Valvar Garm must journey to the far side of the galaxy in the mysterious world known as Terra Obscura. And we've got Trinity of Sin Pandora number 2. As Trinity War erupts, the battle lines are drawn. Pandora finds herself standing alone against the secret society of supervillains. From Marvel this week, we've got Fearless Defenders number 7. I know, you're still upset about issue 6, but stick with us for a status quo change so big we can't actually show you anything. Do not judge anyone's safety by this cover. Next, we've got FF number 10. They've handled media mockery, crippling self-doubt, kidnapping, and the greatest fiends the Negative Zone could throw at them, but can the FF handle the spooky kids? Shiver as they write the names of weird bands you've never heard of all over their desktops. Quake as they use strange slang to hide their true conversations. What are they talking about? Could be anything. Recoil at their monstrous cell phone data plan bills every month. Seriously, you have no idea how much these kids use their phones. The generation gap has come for the Future Foundation. Break out the black nail polish. We've also got Ultimate Comics, The Ultimates number 28. Ultimates Disassembled continues. Wait, did you really just kill? No, seriously, not cool at all. The end of the Ultimates is nigh. Next, we've got Uncanny X-Force number 9. The same solicit as last time. The Phantom X love pentagram explodes. With the truth about their sordid past fully revealed, can Phantom X, Psylocke, and Cluster look each other in the eye? Every psychic ninja needs a vicious animal with no impulse control and a short temper to back her up, right? Puck, man, does that guy love jerky, especially buffalo and bison jerky, dipped in Canadian whiskey. Plus, a terrifying surprise villain from the X-Past is definitely playing chess, not checkers, across Los Angeles. And we've got X-Men Legacy number 14. Continuing his mission to proactively pave the way for the reignited mutant race, Legion travels to the United Kingdom to preemptively extinguish a threat to his people. But the head of Britain's Paranormal Intelligence Agency, Pete Wisdom, won't stand for Legion committing any crimes in the name of mutant kind on his turf. So in this game of superhuman spy versus spy, who will ultimately get the upper hand? I'll tell you one thing, someone is certainly going to be a casualty in this face-off. From Dark Horse Comics, we've got Captain Midnight number 1. On the run from the U.S. government after fleeing custody, Captain Midnight has been labeled a security risk. In the 40s, he was an American hero, a Daredevil fighter pilot, a technological genius, a superhero. But since he rifled out of the Bermuda Triangle into the present day, Captain Midnight doesn't know what or who to trust. This is a key title in Dark Horse's new superhero initiative. From Dynamite Entertainment, we've got Kevin Smith's The Bionic Man number 22. When a foreign scientist wishes to defect to America, Steve must infiltrate a highly secure research facility to get him out. He'll have the help of OSI's newest and strangest employee, but all the help in the world won't keep the Bionic Man alive if he's discovered. From Image Comics, we've got Bedlam number 8 with the solicit Tell the Truth. And we've got Sex number 5. Simon Cook's night out has disastrous consequences, and not just socially, but hey, at least he's trying. Meanwhile, life in Saturn City's criminal underworld rolls on, just not as smoothly as expected. Never forget, sex is real, sex is now, but most importantly, sex has infected your local comic book store. Out in trades this week, we've got Invincible Volume 18, The Death of Everyone trade paperback. Mark Grayson's entire life as a superhero, all he's learned, all he's endured, it's all been leading up to this one moment. Will he become the hero he was meant to, or will he choose a different path? Collects Invincible number 97 to 102. And we've got Animal Man Omnibus hardcover, the Grant Morrison epic run on Animal Man collected in one massive hardcover for the first time. Buddy Baker is more than just a second-rate superhero. He's also a family man and animal rights activist. Now, as he tries to jumpstart his crime-fighting career, he experiences visions of aliens, people transforming into strange pencil-like drawings, and hints of a terrible crisis lurking around the edges of reality. Collects Animal Man number 1 through 26 and Secret Origins number 39. Okay, so that's just a few of my favorite books out this week. There's still plenty of others available. I broke out all the Marvel titles this week into their own video, as well as a separate video for all of the DC, and even a video with the top independent publishers. You can find them all on my YouTube channel at he'sgotissues.com, and we'll also have links up on theleagueofnerds.com, our Facebook page, so be sure to like us there too. And of course, you can follow everything I'm reading on Facebook, Pinterest, Tumblr, or Twitter. You can find links to everything in the About section at he'sgotissues.com. And a reminder that both He's Got Issues and the League of Nerds are proud members of the Comics Podcast Network. So until next week, I'm John Cooney, and I've got issues.